Hey guys, it's Heather from Here She Grows, and I am closing out the vegetable garden for the year. So I can't believe the summer just blew by. And there's one plant that I want to make sure I save seed from. So I'm talking about my nasturtium plants. So this is creamsicle nasturtium from Renee's Seeds, and I'll have all those links, the links below for the plants we talk about in this segment. But this is a mounding nasturtium. There's two different varieties. You can get mounding, or you can get the trailing kind. This is mounding, and what I love about this variety is that it just keeps producing and producing no matter what the temperature is. This plant has been in flower in my vegetable garden all summer long. It's still flowering now and looking just as beautiful. And with the beauty of this is too, you can direct sow it. So it's one of those easy plants that you don't have to think too much about. You just gotta plant it properly, direct sow it, and let it do its thing. Keep it watered, and it'll just, it just has a life, takes on a life of its own. And what's not to love about a plant like that? So it's got an orange flower, although right now it's on the end of the season, obviously. It's kind of got a yellowy color, but it's got a reddish throat. So pretty. And the leaves on it look like lily pads. It's beautiful. And it's edible. You can put any part of this plant on a salad. It's got a very peppery taste. Put it on a salad. The flower also. That's got a nice pepper bite. But the flower is so pretty too. So this is a little more yellow looking than it would be in the summertime. Summertime it's orangier looking. But I'm gonna save seeds from this. So this is an heirloom variety. So what heirloom means is that it's open pollinated, so that if I harvest the seeds this year and plant them again next year, I'm gonna get the same plant next year. So all heirloom plants are open pollinated, but not all open pollinated plants are heirloom. So if that's important to you, you definitely wanna look that up. Also, if you have plants that when you plant them, you notice on the seed packet it says F1 hybrid, you will not get the same plant next year. If you save those seeds, you won't get the same plant next year as you got the previous year. So I know with this plant, I am gonna have the exact same thing next year as I have right now. And I love this plant. So this guy stayed in flower and was producing all summer long, even when the temperatures were in the hundreds. So what's not to love about that? But I just want to show you what the seeds look like and just talk a little bit about the process of saving nasturtium seeds so that I can clear the rest of this garden, these two beds out, and move on to my cover crop. I've got to cover crop it, and also I want to get my garlic in right before Halloween. So a few things to do, but first let's collect some seeds. I'm looking for seed in here, and I saw a really good one down here. See how green that is? So that's an unripe seed. So what, we're just gonna pick it off. Comes off, pops off really easily. And I'm just gonna add it to my bowl. Oop, I see another one down here. They come off very easily. There are a bunch falling off the plant too. You can see some down here too. So I'm just gonna take those. It's very hard trying to figure out how to do things one-handed while you're holding a camera, by the way. But got some more, but I've got several of these plants, so I'm sure I'm going to get plenty of seeds here. But it's really nice because then I won't have to reorder these next year, and I know they do really well in my garden, and I can have them again, and I'm not spending any more money. So I got a nice harvest of seeds here, and you know, there are some on the plant that are really small still, so I really didn't bother picking those seeds off. Like, this is the size you want to go for, something like that. There's some pretty tiny ones in here, and I'll let those dry too. And my next step is just to let these guys hang out and turn brown, and they'll harden up and they'll shrivel and they'll get a little smaller. And then I'll store them, label my little envelope, one of my seed envelopes, with the year and the name of the variety, so that now I've got creamsicle nasturtium that I do not have to buy next year because I have plenty of seed from these this year. Okay, so the nasturtium's done, and there's one other seed that I want to show you because it's the wildest thing I've ever grown, but it's so cool looking and so prolific. And I have to go underneath my arbor here. I've got some sweet autumn clematis back there, but I'm going to flip this around so you can see what I've got going on the other side of the camera. Here's my amaranth forest. I didn't plant any of this year, guys. This was all self-sown. So this is Dreadlocks amaranth, and it is the wildest looking plant. Look at that. And I really should have thinned it this year because it just kind of took over the space. But right now is a really good time to, and I'm going to cut all this down, but this is a really good time to harvest seed. This is another ancient variety. This is an ancient grain actually, but you can see how, you can see some brown coming through. This is actually the perfect time to harvest this plant because when it's at its peak, it is Every bit of this is a beautiful magenta color. And right now with the brown coming through, I know it's time to harvest. They're prolific self-sowers. Very easy plant to grow though. You can start them inside or you can direct sow them and they get massive. And let me show you one of the stalks on these guys. So for as tiny as the seeds start, look at the size of the stem. And it's a beautiful stem too, beautiful pinkish red color. But it is this not quite as big as my fist, but it's close. Huge plant. Okay, so let's cut out some of this amaranth and I can show you what the seeds look like, and you're going to be amazed at how tiny these seeds are compared to the size of the plant that they eventually become several months after you plant them, or they self-sow them, or they direct sow themselves. Okay, let's take it inside. I'm obviously not going to save seed from all the plants. I mean, I'd have a gazillion amaranth seeds, but as you can see, they come out really easy. See all this coming out? All of those little black dots, those are the amaranth seeds, and they are minuscule. They're super tiny. It's just amazing that they grow into such huge, sturdy plants. And if you are going to plant this, mine are like 6-7 feet tall. They're huge. So if they're going in a windy spot, you might want to stake them. But it's definitely one of those plants where you can just harvest the seeds every year and never have to buy it again. It comes back as the same plant you grew the previous year, or it'll self-sow, it'll sow itself. And they're beautiful for cut flower arrangements as well. I also like to harvest seed. I don't like to do it in the morning because there might be some dew left on it or frost this time of year. So it's better to let the sun dry it out a little bit and then harvest. And then I'll just separate these, put these into envelopes, label them for the year, and we're ready. We've got amaranth seeds for next year. When you're separating the seed, you will get what's called chaff. So you can see all the pink stuff that's in here. And if you tap your bowl, the seeds are heavier than the chaff, so the seed will drop and you will be able to take this chaff and get rid of it, and you will get very few seeds in with the chaff when you do this. And pick a time when you're just wanting to chill out a little bit. Maybe you don't want to, maybe you're not going to get to this right away. Put it in bags and label it so you know what you have, because sometimes it can be hard to know what seeds you've got later on after the fact. So there, we're getting really down to it now. And I'm sure there's probably other ways to filter this out. Maybe there's not, but this works for me. And I won't get all of it. I'm not going to be that precious with it. I will get much of it out. I mean, you can see my pile here taking shape, and that's all chaff. I'm just going to continue harvesting my amaranth seeds. And can you imagine if I harvested from every one of those amaranth plants out there? I'd have a bazillion seeds. Is that even a number? I don't know. It's just a lot. But it's such a great thing to do. It's cost effective. And I love giving gifts to my family and my friends who are also gardeners of seeds from my garden. I know they always love it. So it's a really nice present too. So if you're thinking of gifts we've got the holiday season around the corner, and if you're looking for something affordable and something that's really special because it's from your garden, definitely consider harvesting seeds from the plants that you know will come true next year from seed grown this year. Thanks for watching, guys. And if you like this post, I would love a thumbs up, subscribe. And if you never want to miss a video, click that little red bell and you'll be notified when I have a new one going up. So thanks for watching and happy gardening.